we start with.
There is no doubt that we are in a state of heightened political activity. And it would seem that where 2 or 3 are gathered, there a politician will be, selling their agenda or making jibes at their opponents. And by everywhere, I mean everywhere. In churches, social gatherings, online, and yes, even at funerals. You no doubt saw the drama in Kissi a few days ago, where there was an outbreak of fisticuffs on the podium while the body of the deceased, someone's father, husband, uncle, lay before them awaiting his final interment. And whatever the debate may be out there about this trend, I have a different take, a rather personal one. You see, last week I was bereaved. My whole family was bereaved. Now, if you've gone through this, then you know how deeply personal it is. You know the emotional roller coaster, and you no doubt know how greatly important it is for you to honor your loved one in the best way possible. How peaceful you want it to be. How memorable and meaningful you want their final send-off to be. So when politicians stride into the burial service, literally in the middle of the service, when the most memorable tribute is being given, land in their noisy choppers that drown out the voice of the bereaved, when they waltz into the service right through the middle of the seated mourners, waving and smiling at the mourners and then proceeding to sit at the front as the master of ceremonies tries to calm the neighboring villagers who've been drawn to the service by the spectacle. When they ignore the polite, humble request from the immediate family of the bereaved not to politic, a request, by the way, that is made several times in their presence. When they proceed to call each other names on that very hallowed podium, when they proceed to speak about the BBI, the referendum, dynasties, hustlers, or whatever to a family that couldn't care less about these issues, but is engulfed deep in grief and trying to sear this last rite of passage into their memories, and when they proceed to desecrate the dead, who, by the way, is laying not more than 100 meters from where they stand, jostling for the attention of onlookers, fighting for microphones, throwing punches, donating money to other causes that have got nothing to do with the event that they're at. And when they in fact hijack the program and ignore the ongoing calls from the family urging them to stop, but they look straight ahead and avoid the teary eyes of the children of the dead man who are appalled at the complete disregard of their wishes. When the politician then leaves without even condoling the family of the dead man, kumpa pole as we say, what are we to say about this? It is as if they kill the deceased all over again and go ahead to dance on their graves. Folks, this behavior of hop, step, and disrupt one funeral to another is disgraceful. It almost seems as if these politicians sit in the course of the week, possibly like today, with a rundown of which burials are where, and then plan their itinerary over which ones they will invade and desecrate. Of course, the one likely to attract the bigger crowds is the one likely to attract their attention. In fact, I would not be surprised if these politicians mixed up the names of the dead, seeing as they move from one to the next, attending more than 2 to 3 burials in a day. It is morbid, to say the least. Now, if these politicians are worth their salt, why not gather their own crowd and speak to them about whatever they want to speak to them about? And also, if they care about voters, aren't the mourners voters too? Don't their wishes count for something? Anything? Call me emotional, call me naive, or maybe even idealistic. But is decency and respect at a funeral, no less, too much to ask? Well, from what I personally witnessed, maybe it actually is with our politicians. And that is my take tonight.